Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, thanks for joining me this Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I know a lot of you guys are on the East Coast. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me get my guest in here. We're having a few difficulties, but it should just be just a moment. Just hang with me here, guys. I think he's trying to join up right now. Perfect. I think I see him coming on board here. Let me silence this music. See if I can turn this off. There we go. Let me see here. Hey, there you are. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Mike.
How's it going, man?
How are you? I'm good.
Hey, doing well.
I figured out how to get on. I apologize. I went to the Zoom link instead, and I forgot we were on StreamYard. So thank you for sending me the extra email.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Well, I know people are going to be filtering in here over time. I know a few people who are going to be joining the stream as we speak.
Nice.
So
cool.
Yeah, I don't know how many guests we'll have. I know a lot of my audience is on the East Coast and it's a work night, but hopefully, hopefully you guys will get something. What's that?
I said it's 10 o'clock over there.
Yeah. For the night owls that are out there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. So my name is Mike Kelly, and this is my good friend, Justin Duncan, who is joining us from Small Business Voice Media. So I know Justin personally, and he's doing some really cool things in the entrepreneur space. And so I'm going to be asking him some questions, and I wanted to bring him on as a guest here. Now, Justin, you're kind of the guinea pig for this because you're the first person I've ever brought on a live stream. And so I hope to bring on other professionals as well, as time goes on. But I know you have a lot of experience. You've met a lot of really unique businesses and business owners, and you have a lot. I feel like you have a lot of valuable information you can share with some of the subscribers of this channel. And a lot of the people who watch my content now, I produce a lot of accounting and tax content and things like that. A lot of them are in business for themselves, and they might be real estate investors. They might be trying to start a side hustle, a full-time business. So trying to give them guidance and advice to anything to really help boost their business. I know right now we're going through what many believe we've entered a recession, or we're entering a recession at this point. And so a lot of businesses are struggling. And just to kind of pick your brain and have a conversation of, can people make good money in 2022? Because there's so much going on in our economy.
Yeah, I would say always. So I'm going to give a plug to Chris Nichols, which, Chris Nichols. He said, it's, and I don't know the phrase he uses, but it's the hustlers, the people that keep working it and are making the phone calls, hour after hour, are the ones that are going to make it. When I say the phone calls, I mean, I've learned that you want to make at the minimum 100 calls a day or 100 points of contact. So it could be phone calls, it could be emails, it could be text messages. But if you hustle, yeah, absolutely, there's a way to do it. And you might have to get out of your comfort zone to do it, but Mike's coming out of his comfort zone a little bit right now, by doing this first live stream, and I'm the guinea pig. I'm out of my comfort zone a little bit because I'm used to asking the questions and not answering them. So that's a new one for me.
Well, I just appreciate you having you on here.
I appreciate you too, Mike. You're a great guy, and I appreciate everybody you've helped, and you're just a great guy. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. I want to say shout out to Kel and Going Green Mom. How's it going? And wow, I'm sure it's getting pretty late over there for some of you. So I'm glad you're able to check this out. And so Justin, I just wanted to start off by asking, because a lot of people, like I mentioned, as the economy is turning a bit here, and things are just really inflated at the moment, or appear that way, at least to me.
Yeah.
What kind of, for somebody who's thinking about starting a business, I'm curious because I've never asked you this personally. I happen to know you drive truck for a living as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so what was the spark, if you can recall, of the moment you decided, hey, I want to become more like an entrepreneur? and I want to do something a little bit different. What was it for you?
Well, I think initially it was the fear of being laid off from a job,
Oh,
and then it was okay. I need to figure out maybe another way to bring in some income. This was back in 2017, and where I kind of had this epiphany, to try to start something. The problem that I ran into was the business that I got into was not a passion of mine. So initially, I was doing something, to try to make a few extra bucks. I kind of got into something that there was more cost instead of profit. So I had more money going out and coming in with the business.
sure.
So, and it wasn't something I enjoyed. I mean, I think if it was something you enjoy, you'll kind of figure out a way to get past that. But, no, look at that mug, man.
Oh,
Sorry.
this is thanks to my wife. She's helping me brand my business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she made
Yeah.
this for me. I think it was a birthday gift. So I've
Okay.
big thanks to her for this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got my mugs over there in the corner, so I'll get one later. But, um, but I think in order to start a business, I think you have to be passionate about one certain thing. I think if you're very, very passionate about it, you're gonna even when times are going bad, you're still gonna drive forward at it. You're still gonna push forward, and you're gonna try to get things going the right way. And you have to realize too, it's a roller coaster, man. You could have some highs one week, and then the next week you just crash down, and you just have to ride that roller coaster because it being an entrepreneur, it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be hard, but it's something you have to endure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just checking out some of the comments. Thanks for joining us, M. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Grant, thank you for the nice comment that this content is worth staying up for. So I got my cup of coffee to make sure my energy's up enough because I've been working since 5 a.m. this morning here, California time.
And then we have a 7 tomorrow for our meeting. So yeah.
Yeah, we have so for those of you who don't know, Justin and I often have we're part of a networking group, and so we're connected with a lot of different professionals in a lot of different industries. And what's been nice is getting to know or have a network established is that it makes it really easy to refer business to people.
Yeah.
And in some instances, I've been able to actually refer some of my clients I've met through YouTube and things like that to some of the other, connecting with some of the professionals I know and who I trust. And so I really appreciate that network. And I think, especially like, as you mentioned, you were talking about like, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have
Yeah.
to, and Going Green Mom, you actually said the same thing. And so I appreciate that. It's, some of this stuff is scary as hell, but you just
Oh yeah.
got to make yourself do it because what's the alternative? Like really to
Yeah.
the
The alternative is depending on the government. When I say that, it's if you're making your own money and you're doing really good, the gas prices aren't going to affect you like they do everybody else working. So you when I say that, you want to create your own economy, doing what we're doing, and and I just lost my train of thought. I apologize, Mike. It's been a long day.
no,
Uh,
no problem.
I
No
just
problem. I know you've probably been making about 100 phone calls a day if I were to guess. No,
like
or
I was
a
supposed to.
lot of phone
That's
calls.
my target. Yeah. Yeah, 100 points of contact. I would say is especially um, but when you're there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Being busy is getting distracted sometimes. When you're productive, you're sitting down, you're setting a goal for yourself. Okay, I'm going to make 10 phone calls in this hour. You do that, maybe get 12 done in the hour. Okay, I want to get 10 done this hour. And setting goals for yourself throughout the day. Right. What do you want to accomplish? Throughout the day. I think those are big keys. I mean, I always say where there's a will, there's a way. And I think you and I both, Mike, we're doing the right things. We're in a networking group. We're getting out there, meeting different people. I'm part of the Modesto Chamber. I'm sure you'll be part of the chamber soon. That's another list of contacts right there. There's a lot of ways to get your name and your brand out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Going Green Mom actually asked a great question. And I don't know, can you see the comments, Justin?
I cannot.
Okay,
I
so
says you're in the show. Everybody can see and hear you. That's all I see.
okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yes.
It's like we're keeping you in the dark, brother. We're not going to let you know
Yeah.
nothing. All right. So going green mom asked, did the gig laws with the whole 1099 thing where you have to or you can't be classified as an independent contractor, but rather they're kind of forcing truck drivers in California to be employees. Does that impact you personally?
It does not, luckily. I work for, well, I'll just say it. I work for Winco Foods, which is on the West Coast. We're in like 8 or 9 different states as of now. So I am an employee, and the great thing about Winco is it's employee owned. So,
Oh,
uh, yeah. So, we get, so for our retirement, we get employee stock, or I'm sorry, we get company stock. So,
okay.
yeah. So, and the good thing about the grocery business is when times are tough, everybody goes shopping. They cook at home, and people go to the store more. So my company stock has gone way up. I mean, I'll probably make about $80,000 just in stock this year. That unfortunately I cannot touch, or maybe fortunately, however you want to perceive that. But
Well, it's that nest egg. You
yeah,
got that asset growing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my per like now I'm not rich. I'm not anything like that. But I'm probably, if I were to die tomorrow, I'm probably worth about 1.2 million, which is in reality is really not a lot. But I have a trust with Gina, who we work with, so I know everything would get paid off and everything would get paid accordingly. So I prepared, for the unknown, I guess.
Sure. And for those of you, so he mentioned a lady named Gina. So for those of you who don't know, she's one of the primary attorneys I recommend for business formation and estates and trust here where I live in Modesto, California. She's been fantastic, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm working on it, but I hope to get her on the show as well. So
Well,
um,
she'll do it. Gina's awesome. She's come on my show twice. She's actually maybe going to sponsor the show in the future. Our community corner. Gina Gina wants to help. Gina has a great story, and she wants to see people succeed, and that's what you want to surround yourself with, is people like that. Mike. If I keep on, it sounds like I'm over talking to you. If I do that, I apologize.
no, you're fine. You're fine. So
Okay.
you mentioned your show. So I don't think my audience really knows what you do, and part of the reason I wanted to bring you on is I was really inspired by what you do. I think it's pretty cool. So because you work with a lot of different business owners, can you just like briefly explain just like um I don't think it's anything like crazy complicated, but how would you describe what you do? Because I think people need to hear it.
Okay. Well, I'll try to keep it brief because I tend to get long winded and ramble, so I apologize for that. I have a radio show on Power Talk 1360, which is a local radio show, and we I have a co-host named Liberty Santiago, and we interview small business owners and entrepreneurs. And I feel that we are the pioneers to where everybody's going to be using their interview in the future to help market themselves. So we put everything on YouTube. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all forms of social media, and we do everything to promote our guests. And um, we like I show of hands. I can ask this, and I bet everybody raise their hands. Like, how many people have been sold and haven't bought? You know, our goal is to have people contact our guests and buy from them because it feels like a warm referral.
Gotcha. So you kind of take away the cold aspect of it by giving them an opportunity to come on your show, and people get to hear them or get to even can they see them as well? Is there video?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, so we there's no live video, but we'll do a TikTok, and usually Liberty will ask a certain question. It'll get answered. We'll put that on social media as a teaser, like on Wednesday. So hey, listen Saturday for the rest of the interview, or something like that. But it engages the audience. Our last two guests got referrals right away, which was awesome. Our goal is so we're not a free show. People pay to come on our show, but our goal is for people to make money off our show. We want people to get clients off their show that they never normally would have gotten.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Because often, I mean, even I know, like you mentioned, there's a cost to it, but
Yeah.
I think you mentioned to me before, if somebody can just even get one referral, it might pay for the cost of the show, like, or
Yeah.
and then once they do that interview with you, do they are they able to use that video or that interview and then promote it on their own website or their
Yeah.
own?
They can use whatever, like it's oh, I'm trying to think of the word, like it's part of the package. I'll just put it that way. So
Okay,
if
okay,
you want the TikTok video, if you want to put that on your social media, you can. We give the links to YouTube to our guests, so that way when it's uploaded, we can send it to our guests, um, so they can use it. Now the only feedback I've gotten is we can isolate the interview if we have to, but um, we encourage people just to kind of mark their interview, like say, hey, my interview starts at 13:02 and it ends at 26:07.
okay.
That way, yeah, so that way people, they don't have to listen to the whole show if they don't want to, but we want people to listen to the whole show because we feel Liberty and I are entertaining, when we do the show. So,
Oh yeah, you and Liberty are
yes,
pretty great. Like, um, and I don't know if I can pull it up here easily, but it's with
small,
small business voice media, correct?
yeah,
Okay. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can share the screen.
okay,
I'm still new to this whole Streamyard thing, but we'll see here.
okay,
Just give me just a moment. Share. Oh, share screen.
okay.
There we go.
You might give a success story really quick, but oh, you already got it up, so there
There
we
we
go.
go. Yeah, but please do share one of the success stories because I feel like, so as a CPA, I work with clients in many different capacities, right? I see
Yep.
different. I have some clients who are doctors. I have some clients who are real estate investors. Some who are selling different types of products. So all different kinds of industries. And so I'm always looking for a way to help get them more more exposure, more of a reach for what their brand, what they do, because I don't want it to be just the numbers guy. Like, yeah, I love looking at their numbers, but
Yeah.
I feel like in the position I'm in, when I'm looking at the numbers, I try to determine if there's gaps or other things that aren't being reflected in the books to say what other opportunities are there that I'm not seeing. And so I'll look at what their advertising costs are and things like that. So getting them connected with the right people and the right platforms is vital to me helping my clients personally. So that's why it does mean a lot for you coming on here to have you on the
Oh,
show.
thank you. I love being on. Anything I can do to help. Um, let's see. So one of our success stories was when we had the TV show. Okay, right there to the left. If you go to Gina's, um, she actually got a referral from that. So her show was a half hour long. The shows tend to be long, but I guess it is what it is. Um, but when her show was done, somebody, now this happened, it took a couple years, but somebody saw our show on YouTube. He was a lawyer. He was an immigration lawyer, and he saw Gina's show. And instead of him doing his own trust, which he planned on doing, he called Gina and said, "Hey, I don't want to do my own trust. Can you go ahead and do this for me?" And she said, "Yeah, of course I can do that. How'd you hear from us?" And he goes, "Because I saw this show on YouTube and you were on it being interviewed." So, so that was our first kind of like nice, you know, somebody got it, like, so like, hey, he saw this interview. He felt comfortable calling Gina, and he called and she got the referral, and she probably made about 4,000 off that, and she only paid at the time 350 to come on the show. And so
Wow.
she like almost 10 times, got back from her investment. And that's what we want. We want people to really make money off their investment into the show.
That's really cool. Okay, yeah. Because if you get that kind of return, it's like a no-brainer.
Well, yeah. But see, it has to be consistent though. I mean, if I can say,
Right.
hey, the last, 12 guests, got, at least one call and one, one new contact from it, then yeah, it would be a no-brainer. People would be lining up, and if I could raise my prices if I needed to, and I could do that comfortably. I'm I'm a pretty transparent guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. Um, we've done a lot of shows, and like these two people on our last show getting referrals was, I could have done a double backflip. I was so happy to hear that. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Now I'm 47 years old and 300 pounds, so I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. But I could have done something like that. That's
I'm gonna hold you to that backflip now, Justin. You're gonna have to practice that. I'm gonna
yeah.
be waiting for it.
All right. Well, if you got a trampoline in your backyard, I'll try it out. So.
The neighbors do.
Oh,
We're gonna go over to the
okay.
neighbor's house, and that's gonna happen. So that's interesting. So that interview with Gina, for example, how old was that interview? And that 2 years old, and then somebody,
Yeah, it was about 2
wow,
years old. When Gina and I did that interview, it was February of 2020. Before we even got the whole thing done and on YouTube and everything, COVID hit. And yeah, and it just it interrupted everybody's business. Now, there's a lot of people that started their business during COVID that turned out to be really successful. Gina's business continued through. Mine was kind of put on hold for a little bit, but we're still going now. But but we were happy to see Gina get a return on that investment. Bottom line, I mean, that's what we're doing. And my commitment is I'm doing everything I can to get people noticed. Like we have a new today we have a new person doing our social media now, and she's got a lot of followers, so she knows what she's doing. She gets a lot of engagements.
oh, awesome.
Yeah, so we're looking for our numbers to really kind of go up. Right now, we have about 1,000 listeners on Saturday. We only have it one day a week, but our goal is to get that number up to 2,000 listeners by the end of December. And we just want to do our best to get involved in our community. So we have Modesto, Ceres, Turlock, Oakdale, Riverbank, Escalon. I mean, we got 6 good-sized towns around us. So we're just looking to just promote.
Yep. And just so you guys know, like, I've never been to the studio, but I know he has a very professional production. Okay, so it's actually at a real radio studio here where I live in Modesto, California, and it's much nicer than my little my little production I have here that I run out of my home. But
well, no, but yours looks good, Mike. I like your little setup. I can see your microphone, even in the screen. See, like right now, I'm at home. I got my dog at my feet right now. My dad's watching the Giants game, and it's taking everything I have to keep my eyes on the screen because I'm a big Giants fan.
Oh man! Well, if you leave me for the Giants, I won't blame you. But come on,
no,
man.
I'm not. No, you know what, Mike? I love doing stuff like this. This is my passion. Anytime I could be a service to somebody else, I love it. I'm more than happy to do it. I like to kid a lot. That's what makes me good on the radio, is I do a lot of jokes, and they're not always funny. In fact, probably 12% of them I think are funny, but we try and we keep on trying. So
you're just testing things out for your
exactly.
your comedy career.
Yeah.
And my bear with me 1 second. My mouse just died while I'm live on stream. How about that?
Oh no!
It's one of those rechargeable mice.
Oh, okay. See, I'm old school. I have a mouse.
Ergonomics.
But mine's I hook into the laptop, so yeah, so I don't have to worry about losing mine.
Well, I think when as you're mentioning, like with your show and referrals, so I think with anybody, what I found so far, just in my first 6 months in business doing my accounting practice, I realized, like, if you want to do a side hustle or any type of a business and take it seriously, that network connection you have is, I can't stress enough, like, how important it is. Especially like when times are getting tough, and they seem to be getting tougher. I think we're just entering the recession as we speak, even though the media claims there is no recession. I completely disagree. I think we're pretty much there. Personally, I think we're going to see more more of a fallout in the coming years. So, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of just my personal take on it. But
Yeah,
when
Mike,
when
I'm with you on that, like big time. I think we're being lied to, but I see the writing on the wall. Everybody sees the writing on the wall. Man, if you just watch the interest rates go up, you see it.
right, right. So when we started the stream here, I don't know if you guys caught it when you first came in. So there's a realtor that we know. So Chris Nichols,
Yes.
and what he was saying, or what he was telling me, and I don't know if you were there, Justin, but so just the other day he was saying that for a few months ago or last year there was like 5 buyers for every one property for sale. Now it's completely reversed. Now it's like um for every one property no, for every 5 properties on sale, there's like hardly any buyers. I'm saying
Yeah.
that totally backwards, but I think you guys get my point.
So Chris came on my show. If you want to see what Chris looks like, you can scroll up a little bit. Now Chris has lost like a lot of weight. Yeah, there he is, right there.
Oh wow! So this
Yeah,
was
that was Chris when he was when he was heavier than he is now. He's lost a lot of weight. I mean, he's lost like 150 pounds. He's exercises every day. He yeah, I guess I was a little bit thinner back then too. Of course, I was wearing black, so
because you were. But yeah, so yeah, Chris has lost 100 pounds.
yeah. So transitioning to radio. So Chris is a natural when it comes to TV. He just it was fun to just watch him go because he's a natural. But having that camera on you, it's hard to banter with. That's why I like the radio show. We just have a lot more fun. We're not really worried about cameras. We're just worried about conversation and questions.
Yeah, because when I'm on camera here, like especially live stream, I've got to be thinking about, okay, what am I doing? Make sure that I don't have there's nothing in the background that's inappropriate, or not that there would be, but you just have to think of all those little things.
Yeah.
Not that there would be.
So,
man.
So Chris started his business in 2008, right during the first when the bubble popped the first time with George W. Bush.
Okay.
And Chris said, and I forget the number, it went from, we had like 70,000 realtors and it went down to 1,800 realtors during that time. So
wow.
a lot of people gave up. He says, look around the room because half these people are going to be gone because they don't hustle. But if you keep on hustling, you make those phone calls. If you follow up, also you're gonna see that business come back to you. You just have to be aggressive in a nice way, I guess. It's I guess that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to remind people like, hey, I'm here. When you're ready, let's do this thing.
That's a great point, because as long as a lot of people do give up, and it doesn't matter what kind of business it is, many people will throw in the towel and they'll just think, this cannot possibly work. But if you keep at it and you keep building your network contacts and things like that, once things pick back up, once most of your competition is out of the market, you're going to be the person people are remembering, and the floodgates to your business are just going to open right up.
Yeah. It's work, I mean, it's not easy work. I mean, Mike, how many hours you put in? I mean, you're working 14 hours today.
Yeah, it's 10 to 14 hours not 14 hours most days, but like at least 10 to 12 per day, at least. Yeah.
It's just, it's not easy. I mean, it's I'm not saying it's not easy, but it's worthwhile doing. I would say if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, the best thing you can do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but the best thing you can do is find a networking group to join. And then that way you're surrounded by other entrepreneurs, you're surrounded by other business owners, and it puts you in a different mindset. And like I said, I wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for my group. My group inspired me. If it wasn't for key people in Gold Star, I wouldn't be on this call right now, because I just wouldn't have had initiative to do it. I guess I put a lot of, I give a lot of people, I have a lot of regard for people just because they've helped me so much. Mary Matthews, our regional director, Chris Nichols is one that's helped out a lot. Gina, um, I mean, I'm gonna throw names out there that you guys don't know, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that got me where I am today.
Oh, sure, absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah. They say, business. You don't start off in business with you don't build it by yourself. It's really becomes a team sport. It really
it
does.
is.
Like
Yeah,
I'm already at the point 6 months in where I'm like starting to feel overwhelmed because it's you're getting. I like to have a certain turnaround time, and already like I'm getting so much new business through referrals, through like the group we're in, through YouTube, through all these different sources, and I'm very thankful for it. But it's like, okay, I better hire pretty soon. I want to take a moment and say, so Growing Green Mom, she says, isn't that pretty typical for when they start raising rates? Prices have to come down, get them to sell. I forget what I heard, but was thinking it was $10,000 down for some amount or of some percentage up. Yeah, I think like here in California, like I think prices on many of the homes have already fallen. In some instances, I've heard about $50,000. It depends on the
oh
area,
really?
but
Okay.
yeah, as much as 50,000 down already.
Wow.
But I would think like the average right now would be down at least 10 to 25, somewhere probably in that range, maybe more. But
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things you just got to roll up your sleeves and then just kind of, it's like the stock market. If you bail out when the stock's going down, you're not going to make any money. It's the people um that kind of persevere, like not persevere, but just kind of stick out the hard time, I guess the best way of saying it, and then eventually it's going to turn around and go back up. Like,
exactly, it's cycles, right? Cycles.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And we're in a bad cycle right now. I mean, um our so our not the current president, but our last president. I don't want to get too political. I'll try not to do that. But um,
Thank you, I appreciate that because I try to keep politics out of most things, but I do want to hear what you have to say.
well, I I think the one bad thing that he did was he made it really kind of like people got lazy. Like the economy was going so good, and a lot of people just kind of rode that wave. Like stock market was going up. There was a lot of things that were happening in a positive way, and people kind of get comfortable. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny
Yeah,
because I've produced financial content for many years. I used to do more investing videos. I know like my audience wants me to do more of that, so I have to definitely consider that. But what's the saying is when you're in a bull market, everybody's a genius when it comes to stocks.
yeah,
Everybody's a
exactly.
genius. Everybody knows exactly what they're talking about as long as it keeps going up. But the moment it doesn't go up, you're like, okay, maybe this person is really n- not as sharp as I originally thought because the best investors make money when it's going up and going down,
Well,
which is very few. Very few investors are actually that good. That's like knowing how to operate more like a hedge fund or in a way where you can withstand the storms and the downfall, and the downward trends and still maintain your lifestyle, your income, and things like that.
yeah, yeah, and during time, I guess it could be a challenge. But we have a lot more we have a lot more help out there than we realize. We have a lot of people that you know can help out. Mike and I network with a lot of people, so I feel pretty comfortable and pretty happy where I'm at right now.
So Kel, we have a couple questions are in the comments in the chat here. So Kel asked, Justin, you mentioned your business was impacted somewhat by COVID. Did you have to take steps to remedy that? New or like innovative ideas? That's a good question. Or did it resume on its own?
It so my business went down in 2020. COVID hit. Nobody was supposed to leave the house for 3 months. Now we're in California. California didn't want people to work or leave the house. They wanted everybody to mask up for about a year and a half. And during that time, we were always planning. Okay, what are we gonna do when we get back to it? Like, what do we have coming up? And then Mary approached me with, "Hey, why don't you take your show, put on the radio, you can reach a broader audience on iHeartMedia, and it just seemed like a no brainer. So as soon as we started meeting back live, the restrictions loosened up, and this didn't happen just with me. I want to make this clear. Like Liberty joined the team. Liberty, I mean, honestly, Liberty kind of put a boot in my ass to kind of get me going. I mean, she's
Let
like,
me see
hey,
if I
look,
can. Let me see if I can find her.
yeah, she is.
That sounds
I mean,
creepy. Let me see if I can find her. Let me see if I can. I know there's a post with Liberty, so I can show who you're talking about.
Yeah, I had a lot of help getting like kind of like reinventing the show. I had a lot of help with that, and we're still pushing. I mean, we're still changing things. We're still finding ways like, hey, what can we do differently to better enhance the show? What questions can we ask? Um, we've kind of changed the format of the questions now to where it's more like, what a good referral for you is, what separates you from different people. Tell us about, your product, so on and so forth. So we kind of reformatted the questions a little bit.
Let me see. Can you see my screen anymore or no?
I can see you, Mike.
Okay, you can see me. So
Yes.
let me see if I can.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Yeah. So this is one of the TikToks we did. And so it's not that long.
Oh,
But
sorry.
that's Liberty right there to the right in a blue shirt. Um, she's she's a notary and a business coach. She was trained by Bob Proctor, so she's come a long way. She was actually one of my interviews on the show too, and
Oh, really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, she was. She's got quite a story. I mean, the one thing I like about see, there's Florida Hottie. She got a referral from our club, talking about bankruptcy.
Oh, so she's a bankruptcy attorney. I didn't get to check
Yeah,
that one out. So that's a bankruptcy attorney.
yeah, she's a bankruptcy attorney. Yeah, yeah, and she's really, really nice, really sweet. She has her own practice. Um, yeah, and Liberty's Liberty can think on her feet and really, really ask the questions like and put it in in a genius way. And so I just kind of let her do that. She's a natural, so I get to kind of sit back and watch.
Now, I love what you said the other day, Justin, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this with the audience. Is that uh, Justin mentioned to me the other day, like Liberty is,
The brains.
the brains, but also the beauty, right? So
She
you're like
is.
Beauty and the Beast kind of a
Yes.
thing. Yeah, I love that so much.
Yeah. So I'll give you a quick story about Liberty. The Modesto Chamber wanted to interview me about the show, and so they said give us like a couple paragraphs, 300 words. So I did that. I typed it up, and I said, hey, Liberty, can you read this, and this is what they want. Can you make changes if you need to? And she goes, yeah, of course. So I sent it to her. She read it and changed everything about what I said. But when I say changed everything, it was for the better because she highlighted things that I forgot about. She just did the presentation to where it's like, wow, I mean, hell, I don't even know. I'd want to buy from me after seeing that. Yeah,
You're
I
like,
was
I'm
really,
gonna.
yeah, I was impressed. But that's what she does. I mean, that's what she brings to the show, to the business. I mean, she's very, she's she's amazing. That's the one word that comes to mind is she is amazing. Um, she just she treats my business like her own business.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's so rare to find to have
it is.
somebody who works with you in a non-owner capacity, but like who just contributes so much to your production and what you're trying to accomplish and help people with.
Yeah. So that if you scroll down, that was Yvonne Cassidy. She owns JC Plumbing, and we I said, hey, let's do a Facebook Live really quick, and you can talk about your business. And she got a lot of views. She got a lot of people that really engaged with her. And that was that was really cool. Yeah, and I used her service too. That's what I'm saying right there. So
Well, you know what? So I got to meet her in person, like at a conference a couple months back, and
okay,
I want to share with the audience is like, if you're thinking of starting a business, if you know how to do like contractor work or like a handyman or like a plumbing, oh my gosh, you're going to be so busy, you're not going to know what to do. You're going to have to, if you have a job, you're going to have to quit it just to do that, because the demand for plumbing and those services, people just know, they're just not, a lot of the youth, they're just like not as interested in that anymore. They want to be YouTubers, right? Or this or that, something a little flashier. They don't want to like dig up plumbing or, fix paint houses necessarily, or, whatever it might be. But really, there's so much opportunity there. Then some of the people who make the most money that I see, whose taxes I prepare, are very simple jobs. Are like what you would think. It's not like not simple. I'm not saying it's not a lot of hard work, but what I'm saying
yeah.
is that it doesn't require a lot of education necessarily, if you know what I mean. It's a smaller barrier to entry, a lower barrier to entry.
I get what you're saying because I went to truck driving school right after high school. So,
Yeah,
so I understand. I really understand what you're saying.
yeah. It's not. You don't
Yeah,
necessarily need like a college degree, I guess, is
no,
what I'm trying to convey here. I'm
yeah,
not doing a very good job at it, but yeah. Thank you. You know what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
The opportunity is there as long as you're willing to put in the work to do it.
Well, and that's a great point. And when you bring that back to business, um, there's a lot of business out there. You just got to put in the work to bring it to you. And is it always glamorous? No. Is it always fun? No. But it's a requirement. You have to do all those little tedious things in order to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
Right, right. And you're truly building a real asset in the long run. And you're hopefully that asset can serve to help a lot of people. Like I know personally, like I don't know about you, but like absolutely love being a business owner because I'm able to interact and work with people I've never been able to, in a way like I've never been able to do before, and it's completely changed my life.
I love it. The networking part is my favorite thing. In fact, I probably do too much networking, and that's probably um, the busy times. Because I mean, you're out there, you're networking, you're finding out what other people do, how you can help them, and they're doing the same for you. Um, but and that's good. But you don't want to neglect what you have to do: the phone calls, the emails, the text messages. At least 100 calls a day.
Yeah. Now, Going Green Mom says it would be nice to have a handyman around here. Probably wouldn't be able to do plumbing, but I could probably keep someone busy for a week on no license needed. I like. Well, it's hard to find people you trust, right?
It is.
I have a few clients. Well, I would say like about half of my client base, even though I work with people around the entire country, is here in California, and really, it's I feel really honored that because of they know me from YouTube, and they know like when they see Mike, they know I'm not some entertainer. Like I'm a legitimate person. I'm a real CPA, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm just a normal person. I'm not some weirdo. Well, not weirdo. Actually, maybe run that by my wife. She might think I'm weird, but
Well, she married you.
yeah, she
Right?
married me. Yeah, so she's great. She bought me this coffee mug. But you know what's interesting is they, even though they're like in different parts of California, they say, Mike, who do you recommend as an attorney? Mike, who do you recommend for this or that? And luckily, more recently, because of all these network connections and doing this business and YouTube and all that, now I actually have people I can refer them to.
That's awesome.
And they want to work with those people because they trust that if they trust me, they're going to trust who I refer them to. And I wouldn't refer them to anybody I didn't completely trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not to I don't want to take away from what you just said, but that's the purpose of the show that we do. We want people to um these are people I interview, these are people I know that I would do business with. You should be doing business with them too. That's how I feel.
Yeah, exactly. Kel says small business voice media sounds like a really cool concept for researching businesses. Insight not found online in print without pressure of speaking to a business rep in person. Oh, that's good. That is good, Kel.
Yeah, I think so. I was talking to somebody today, actually, before I came home. I had a meeting with Mary and Linda and Kaylee, and um, they suggested me like, hey, you need to get out there more. You need to be just. I have free services too. I need to do that a little bit more, but just do this to get your name out there. I mean, it's you have 1,000 people, but now you need to grow that. This is what you need to do. So that's work. I mean, it's and actually, once I get out of my comfort zone and start doing that, I'm gonna love it. I know I will. I just have to do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tough too when you're working, but you're a great example of somebody truly trying to achieve your dream and have something more because of it, right? You just
Yeah.
that fulfillment you get even though you might be tired when you're starting to do it, if you're like me, it gives you energy. It kind of like picks you back
It
up a bit.
it does. That's what I love about your club. Your club is at 7 in the morning, which I will probably be there tomorrow. And but I enjoy it. It does, like, it's, Chris does a great job leading, and we just have a lot of fun. I mean, it's a business club, but we have fun in there. I mean, we're not boring people. We're fun, and we do our 60s, and we sometimes we'll joke around during our 60s, and but bottom line is we're all there for each other.
Right. If Now, for those of you who don't know what he's talking about when he says 60, so if you join a networking club, there's different clubs around the country, different kinds, but basically, if you go to one of these networking meetings, one of the commonalities among them is that you're usually allowed to give a 60-second presentation about what you do for your business, so people who are new can get to know you and what you do and who you want to serve in terms of your clientele and things like that. So, um, that's what he's referring to with that. Now, one thing I did want to ask, because I know most of your guests are here in California, but are you able to work? So if somebody else had a business anywhere in the country, would you be able to help them or have them on your show if they ever wanted to contact you?
Yeah, actually, we've already had that. We had Todd Kukon in Wisconsin.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, reach out to us, and he was actually, him and Liberty were chatting back and forth. He reached out to me, said, "Hey, I heard about your show. I heard that I can come on as a guest. What I need to do." And yeah, so we talked on the phone, and Todd is a former um, school teacher. I want to say high school teacher. He was a high school basketball coach, and but he went into motivational speaking.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, yeah, and so he's got contracts. I'm going to say throughout Wisconsin, but probably outside of Wisconsin too, where he goes to different venue and does motivational speaking. And and he's gotten a lot of great feedback. Todd was a great person to talk to. And his business is in Wisconsin. Now, somebody may ask, like, you're in Modesto. How is that going to help somebody in Wisconsin? Well, he's always got our interview. It's on YouTube. If you look up Todd Kukon, you should find his interview. Well, if you know how to spell his last name anyway, you should find his interview on YouTube. He can call me up and say, "Hey, do you mind putting that on your Facebook feed and encouraging people to listen?" We could do that. We can put it on our business page. We could always go back and promote him on Instagram, and then in turn, he could always ask to come back on the show, have another interview done, and he can use that on his social media and on his website if he has one.
Sure.
Yeah. So the long-winded answer is yes, yes, we can.
Oh no, actually, it's nice
Yeah,
to hear that kind of story because then you can really connect how that could work for somebody who doesn't live in California.
yeah, and we encourage people to come into studio because we can take pictures. We're actually talking with them and interacting with them, and we're doing the same on if they come in on Microsoft Teams, we're doing the same thing, but um, it's hard to do the social media to promote their show, but still we can still do it. But it's a lot better if they come in studio in person. But
Sure.
we're really not turning down anybody. I mean, unless you have like a bad reputation, we're not turning away anybody. And when I say bad reputation, like, like we don't want to have the wrong people on our show. We want to have people that really want to help the public and be a service to their community. And I think, like I said before, I think everybody's been sold, and that's what we don't want. We don't want our guests to be sold, and we don't want our audience to be sold.
Right. And so like that's even just within what I do. People come to me, like a lot of people, like I at this time of the year, I actually get most of my business from YouTube. To be honest, like I've been getting a lot of business through just people I know from YouTube, and just being able to talk to them one on one, kind of like we're doing here, but off a live stream, of course.
Yeah.
And basically, what they've been telling me is that, Mike, hey, I live in they might say I live in Wisconsin, for example, or Colorado. But like I don't trust the people I'm working with, or if they might say I have an accountant, but they really don't communicate with me. I don't know where they're at with things. I just need somebody I can trust, and I am like so honored that they choose me to help them. And so my goal is to really, hold them by the hand and get them through that process until their stuff is done, and just help explain what we did and why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, we want to. We want people to be comfortable. We want people to be relaxed, and we want people to come back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you, one of the best pieces of advice I got in business from others is that if you just do your job the way you said you would, you're going to get referrals. Like other people are going to appreciate what you do. Like if you just follow through on what you offered and promised, it's going to take care of itself. Going Green Mom says that would be interesting. I've streamed accounting sessions. Oh, live streamed accounting sessions. Oh, that would be, you know what, Going Green Mom, now it's going to be the new reality show. I'm going to take it to like MTV or something. It's going to get spicy.
There you go.
You're like, you got how many notices from the IRS? Oh, we're going to get this person on the channel.
Well, if you need an actor, Mike, I can come in as a mafia head and demand you to hide my money.
Yeah, we'll make your income disappear. No problem. Yeah. Off the, it's you have the set of books you give your accountant, and then you have the real set of books on the side. Actually, I did. Truth be told, I was with an IRS auditor one time, and she told me like she's come across some like these mafia type of people. They literally do just that. They actually have a separate set of books elsewhere.
That's crazy.
I can't believe. Yeah, it's like all for all their dealings. But what did Grant says? Oh, Grant says, do someone's tax return on Twitch. Now that is living by the seat of your pants right there. That's how you do it.
Oh wow! What's Twitch?
So Twitch is that where so like how YouTube, like you can pre-record content, you can do live streaming now too. But Twitch was really built off like a live, not pre-recorded content, but more so live streaming for gamers. That's kind of how it started.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so Twitch TV, like there's a lot of big streamers who do Twitch, play video games, and there's other spicy content on Twitch as well. Apparently now these days, if you know what I mean. But we'll leave it at that.
Well, I apologize for being 47. So some of this stuff is kind of past me, but I know the basic ones, I guess.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm not a big Twitch user myself. I know of it, but I've never really gotten too much into it. Yeah. Going Green Mom says, not sure I'd want to be the auditor for the mob boss. Oh yeah. Oh, side note, okay, so I met this IRS auditor a few years ago. Really nice lady. She had okay. I gotta say though, her hair literally went from her head down to her toes. Like I'm not, or just above her shoes. I'm not joking. She actually had to like be careful of how she entered into her car. Like I don't know how she did it, but she did tell me one thing that I'll never forget: the way they catch mob bosses and how they get them to really pay up their taxes is what they find is they'll be going through their meals and entertainment expenses on their records, and they'll find all these expensive dinners out and at all these different nice restaurants or all these different locations, and what they'll do is they'll say, you know what, if you're not going to give me a response, we're going to have to go talk to your wife. Would you like us to talk to your wife? And they immediately pay the IRS because usually the wife is out of the loop. It's a completely, they have no idea how involved their husbands are in cheating and these affairs and these other dealings. And
Oh
so
yeah.
that makes the IRS a lot of money. I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting.
Well, one of my favorite movies was Goodfellas, and there's a scene in there about that. Like, hey, Friday night was for the girlfriends, Saturday night was for the wife, and that's a little bit too much for me. I couldn't, you know, one woman was enough for me. In fact, I'm single, so I can't even handle one woman, let alone two.
my luckily I have my one wife, and that's good for me.
Yes.
I'm so lucky to have her. She made me this mug, so I can't complain. I'm a happy
Yeah.
camper.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, Justin, I know. So we've been on for just almost an hour now. So I just want to say thank you for coming on. And so thank you for those of you who've tuned in around the country. I know it's late. I know we're
Yeah.
just kind of, Justin and I are just kind of hanging out, talking on here, talking about business and a bunch of other stuff,
Yeah.
random stuff. But yeah, Justin, I hope you enjoyed your time on here. I had a lot of fun talking to you. So
I did, Mike. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to the people that put in comments and that we're watching tonight. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Justin, how can people find you?
Well, we're on Small Business Voice Media on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. If you want to learn more, if you just want to support the show just by watching and subscribing, that'd be great. Small Business Voice Media.
All right. I got one more. I'm gonna take one more question or comment, then we'll wrap it up. Trail says, if I'm saying that right, do you think I would need to prioritize college to get into tech company today? Google, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, like the good tech companies, I think is what he's saying. Even the apprentice roles, I just need the experience and network.
So I think Google offers a program to where you could take their classes and get trained. And then now, granted, when you do that, you got to stick out because they got hundreds of people doing all this. In fact, my son does it too. But Google has their own training. Like you can do their training and then do your best to hire on. And my best advice for that is just do everything you can to stick out.
Yeah, I agree. So like these days, what I understand to be true is that a lot of these companies are starting to just have their own colleges in a sense.
Yeah.
Where you can just do the training through, you can maybe contact them or find training through their own sites and things like that to kind of learn because they want you, when you go to work for a company, you're going to do what that company specifically needs you to do. So if you start learning what those things are early on, even before you go to college, you're going to be I think a couple steps ahead of the competition.
Yeah. So, I mean, my son's in the middle of doing that too. So that's how I know that.
Yeah. And what some people do is, especially in the tech realm, a lot of times, like if they do coding, they'll do like coding boot camps or things like that, they'll just, or if they want to design websites, for example, they'll reach out to small business owners or somebody looking for a website, and just to get their foot in the door, they'll say, hey, I'll build this website for you for a reduced rate, or even sometimes they'll even offer it for free to get the experience and exposure to add to their portfolio, to the resume. And then they'll have, once they have done enough jobs and get enough positive reviews and feedback, then it's going to be easy to transition that skill and experience into more and more jobs and eventually level up to what they eventually want to obtain.
I totally agree.
So, yeah, I'm not in the tech realm. Like, I don't know if you absolutely need to go to college these days for that. I know for accounting, you pretty much do. Like, there's certain professions you need to go to a college for, and still today, in my opinion. But there's a lot of things now is you can get away from college in many capacities and find alternative educational paths.
Well, yeah, I know a couple people that didn't even graduate high school. They dropped out and are multimillionaires. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. I guess it just kind of depends on what you really want. What you're driven to do.
Exactly.
I think if you know how to, I probably shouldn't tell this story, but my son, when he was a freshman, hacked into the school computer.
Oh,
And
wow. What?
yeah, and
What kind of
when
hoodlums you raising there, Justin?
oh man,
I'm kidding.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, he was my problem child, but he was a good kid, and he's still a good kid. But he went to the office and basically told the school like, "Hey, look, your security system is really easy to get into." And he came home and he was all happy and told me what he did, and I told him um, how in the fatherly way how stupid that was to do. I didn't say the word stupid, but like he shouldn't do that. And then that week on like that happened like on a Monday. On a Thursday, we get this note that like got sent home with everybody about hacking into the school computer, and it said, even though if you're showing us how to get in and where it's messed up at, you will still be expelled from school. So um, so we kind of laugh about it now, but he's able to hack into stuff. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but he does it. He's just you get him in front of a computer and he just that's where his genius is. That's where he's got like a 200 IQ when it comes to computers. When it came to
Wow,
schoolwork, yeah, it was normal, but computers, he's a whiz.
that's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome what he did, but it's awesome that he's
Yeah,
that smart to know how to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. He didn't get that from me, so he must have got that from his mom.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah,
just exposing the weaknesses and be like, "Oh, here you go. Let me show you your weakness." They're like,
yeah.
"No, you're expelled."
Yeah, luckily it didn't happen. So
Oh, Going Green Mom says, "Yikes! I have a friend with a son. Oh, it's the sons who are doing this apparently. That did the same thing. They put him to work on his study halls. Ouch."
ooh, yeah. Luckily,
Uh,
my son he didn't get disciplined. Luckily, so uh, but yeah, he was my problem child. My youngest just turned 21, and she was my good one. So I was pretty fortunate to have the kids I have, even though my son gave me a hard time.
there's got to be that. There's got to be that one who gives you at least a hard time, right? There
Yeah,
has to be
yeah.
one. You can't. You'd be too lucky if it didn't work out that way.
Well, you know what? I think there were times where I gave my parents a hard time too. So I think it's just God's way of saying, "Hey, this is what you did to your parents. This is what you're going to get back." So
Yeah, it all comes
yeah,
back, right? That's what they
yeah,
say.
exactly.
All right. Well, you know what? This has been a great time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Going Green Mom, Grant, and everybody else who's on here. Trails, Kel. Um, Going Green Mom says, "Hey, if he could fix the issues and it kept him busy with something he was interested in, he fixed the holes." There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, Justin, no, thanks again. It's just great to have you on here, and thanks for sharing what you do and
My
how
pleasure.
people can reach you. And just I want my viewers, a lot of them who are starting their own businesses and trying to just wrap their heads around finances and entrepreneurship and all these other subjects to try to pull it all together in this crazy economy we're living through right now, or we're about to live
Yeah,
through, I think, and just give them as many tools and as many contacts as possible so that they can become successful. So definitely, everybody, I would consider radio advertising and what Justin is doing as a form of advertising. You never know how many clients you might get from just being on video or through a podcast. I can tell you personally, with having my YouTube platform, if I didn't have it, my business would be completely different today. If I don't know if I'd still be doing the business if I didn't have my YouTube platform, to be honest. So consider alternatives to marketing. I think we've heard from Justin how important it is to be part of like a referral group or just getting to
yeah.
network with people in your local community and get your name out there. It's going to really help you a lot. So, all right. Well, Justin, I will hopefully see you tomorrow morning. And
I think I'll be there. I should be.
perfect. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, I hope to
Thank
do
you,
another
Mike.
live stream like this in the future. And maybe I'll have Gina on next time or bookkeeper or somebody else, different professions. I want to keep it rolling here. Different professions from different professionals to share their wisdom here on the platform.
You know what, Mike? You've done so much to give back. I think Gina, I think Michelle would be good ones, and I think Chris Nichols would be a really good one too. Uh, Chris likes to pick on you by having you give business tips, and that's always fun to get too.
Oh yeah, I'm always put on the spot in the morning. Mike, give us a business tip. Like, oh great, okay, build a YouTube channel. There you go. There's your business tip. I mean, like literally build a YouTube channel. That is like one of my number one business tips. Because yeah, I think I have like 20 or 30 clients now from YouTube in my first year. So
that's awesome.
All right, everybody. Well, have a great evening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So thanks again, Justin.
All right, thank you, Mike. Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
take care, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.